him. I hate him.
I hate him.
I guess I'm willing to try it out.
I just think we're all going to be getting along so well.
All right, I'm here with Brian Metcalf. He directed the movie Adverse a couple of years back, and we got to talk then. And now he's got a show coming on Tubi a week from today called Underdeveloped. And that's what we're here to talk about. And Brian, it's a pleasure to talk to you again and talk about this new show.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me about it.
All right, so my first question is, how did you come up with this series? Where did it all come from?
The idea of this came from dealing with the film industry in general. And what I mean by that is taking meetings with executives or agents or other people. And some of the things that were said were so ridiculously off the wall. I kept thinking to myself, this is too hysterical. I have to write this stuff down. And eventually, I had plenty of material to create a show like this, but this is something I always wanted to do. So that's how this came to be.
That's awesome. And I
Although
can just imagine.
I do want to just say, so go ahead. Sorry.
I could just imagine some of the stuff they would say, because I thought of The Office when I heard the concept of this series. I thought of like The Office set in a film production company. So I was like, this is something I would totally be into.
That's what it pretty much is. I mean, you don't have to understand the film industry to watch this show. It's more about, office politics. It deals with racism, sexism, nepotism, favoritism, greed, all kinds of things that anyone in the workplace would understand. And obviously, when this isn't based off of one person, I just have to say too. So it's just a combination of different people and everything.
That's awesome. And the cast, I mean, right behind me, along with you in the photo, and you reunite with Thomas Nicholas from Adverse, which I think is really cool because I think Thomas pulled off, as I told you, Thomas pulled off one of the most stellar performances of his career with Adverse. Like totally went a 180 from what we were used to. But I've noticed some other people in this, like Tom Arnold. I recently saw Shelley Regner in Waking Nightmare. She was phenomenal in that movie. Samm Levine, David Koechner. I mean, where'd you get all these? I know where Thomas came from, but how'd you get all these other guys involved?
I think, well, it was a combination of relationships and everything. Obviously, Tom and I have been partnered in working on different projects for years. I don't know why my cam keeps jumping, sliding down, so you're getting like basically the top of my head. But basically, Tom and I have been working for years together, and it's something that obviously a lot of directors tend to work with the same people if they get along with them or they like working together with them. And it just felt like a natural thing for us to work together again. Kelly Arjen worked with me on Adverse as well, along with Shelley Regner and Luke Edwards. They all worked together with me, and Sam actually worked together with me on Adverse. So having that relationship and knowing how they worked already previously, it was great to work with them once again. Tom Arnold actually is a Facebook friend of mine, and I reached out to him over Facebook, interestingly enough. But a lot of these people are just people that, you build relationships with, both myself and Tom and other people and stuff like that. And it's just a great thing. Mark Pellegrino and I were working on a documentary together, and we still are planning one. And so it was something where I asked him if he'd like to get involved. He said he'd love to. So that was great. And the next thing you know, we have this amazing cast of comedic talent for this show.
So here's some interesting question. So upon coming up with the series and once you had the cast ready, did you kind of knew what you were like? Do you know if they went through anything similar in terms of dealing with these executives, and maybe they used that to their advantage in terms of bringing that comedic talent to the series?
Everybody I've talked to, including agents and managers and even studio execs in the past, they've all gone through the same thing before. I mean, them being pitched people the most ridiculous things, or agents being, offered the most ridiculous offers and everything like that. So everybody in this industry has gone through something or another that is just laughable, if that makes sense, or makes people laugh at it.
That's awesome. This is a total 180 from Adverse. I mean, Adverse was like a serious action thriller about, the world of drug dealers. Here you're doing something funny, and I can't wait to see it for sure, because especially that, me being a film studies major and being through all this, I've always wanted to know I've always heard these stories about what goes on behind the industry, and everyone's like, oh, I didn't get chosen because of this, I didn't get chosen because of that, and to see it in a comedic manner, I think I am so looking forward to the series now. I cannot wait to see how it plays out.
Thank you. I want everyone to just have a really good time and have fun with it, not take it overly seriously. Even though we do touch on some important topics which were discussed earlier. But I think that also the funny thing is when I first sent this out, people were sending me messages like, is this supposed to be a horror or does this turn horror-like? Because I find myself laughing at this and I'm like, no, it's meant to be a comedy. And people did not expect to get that from me. So I don't like being stuck in one specific genre, and working in different genres and everything like that. It's very important to be able to expand and do a combination of everything. So
Oh,
yeah.
I totally agree. I think more directors should do that. They should branch out into more trying different genres, and we are getting that now. I mean, look at Eli Roth. He's known for horror films, and he's got Borderlands coming out, which is a video game movie. And Takashi Miike, I think he's like one of the ultimate versatile directors. He's done like every genre. He's even done kids movies in Japan. I mean, it just shows that level of branching out and versatility that I think all directors can be capable of.
Exactly. And people were even asking, they're like, you're doing a comedy, and people are shocked that I love comedies. People would think that because of Adverse and my other films that I only like horror films or thrillers or dark, depressing films. And while I do love those, I also have really enjoyed comedies growing up. And I love every type of genre there is, as long as it's a good story.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, I grew up with every genre, watching everything. Even as a kid, I watched exploitation films for Christ's sake, and that says a lot. So you just imagine my taste. You imagine. So if I see like a really absurd movie, I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this movie because it's
Oh
gonna be.
yeah. The movie Street Trash comes to mind when I think of exploitation. Or I don't know if you ever saw that film, but it was a really strange, bizarre,
Yeah,
independent.
and it actually got a reboot coming out. They
Oh,
actually rebooted it.
interesting.
Yeah, Ryan Kruger directed it. He's the director of Fried Berry. I don't know if you've seen that one. That's a crazy movie that he did. Is in South Africa. But yeah, they just announced that he shot a 35 and shot on 35 millimeter film too. He went old school with it, which
Wow,
is
that's exciting.
amazing.
I look forward to seeing that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So with that said, I mean, I know this is premiering on Tubi a week from today, and
Yep, September 8th.
how many episodes is planned out?
So there are a total of 6 episodes. I believe they're dropping the first 4 episodes, and I'm not sure when they're going to drop the other 2, or what the game plan is, but it should be shortly after. All 6 are done. They've actually been done for a little while, before the strikes were even came to fruition. So we were very fortunate to have gotten this taken care of beforehand.
Yeah, thank God.
And yeah, and we're avid supporters of the strikes. And one reason where we're able to promote this is because we got a SAG waiver, and obviously we're independent and all that type of stuff. So we strongly support the strikes and supporting the writers and making sure that they get fair pay, especially for streamers and everything along those lines.
I totally agree. I support strikes as well. And I've been doing a lot of interviews with more directors lately, who do this, or even foreign film directors. But before more, can you describe each of the characters that this cast plays? Like, what's Thomas's role? What's Shelley's role? Because that's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, Tom plays a curmudgeon type of executive who's actually passed up for promotion, because Ralph, who is the studio executive played by Tom Arnold, he hires his wife's brother, just because of the fact that his wife is preventing or stating that she won't sleep with him anymore until she does hire the brother, which is my character. So I kind of come in a very inexperienced and rather stupid character, Stan, that kind of comes in and sort of gets to run the department in a roundabout way. And obviously Joe is unfortunately passed up for that promotion, which has happened to so many people that I've spoken with, who lost their job promotions for one reason or another, or for unfair reasons. So those are those 3 characters. Ralph, obviously played by Tom Arnold, he's a very greedy type studio exec who kind of just flies by quick decisions on his own and so forth. We have Kelly Arjen, who plays Livy, and she plays two roles, Livy and Rachel. And Livy is this mousy type secretary who has a frog obsession. And she plays also her alter ego, which is her twin sister, Rachel, who basically is a former Disney star who's very disgruntled in a lot of ways. And then Shelley Regner plays a very artsy fartsy type producer. Samm Levine plays a very pervy producer guy, or whatever you want to call him. David Koechner plays, who was actually in The Office. He plays a very sort of grumpy studio exec of another studio that we have to work with. And David Henrie, who we know from Wizards of Waverly Place, he plays a very different role than we've ever seen before. He plays an agent, and he's just a very he's a very pissed off agent at a lot of the whole thing. So it's so really funny to see him play against stereotype from what he's been used to.
I love it. I love it. Just like with directors, actors can branch out into trying different roles and not be typecast, like Thomas did with Adverse. I mean, now I get to see David as someone extremely pissed off after seeing Wizards of Waverly Place for so long. Oh my gosh, it just made my day totally. And just like Shelley, Shelley did the same. She went from Pitch Perfect to playing in Waking Nightmare, which is a horror film where she plays a sleepwalker who might have committed a couple murders and has her parents protecting her at all costs. It's just, she was such a mind trip with that movie. I think that's also on Tubi right now, as a matter of fact.
Amazing. Well, she's a fantastic actress, and she was actually in my film Adverse. And so she played a very serious role in that. So I changed it up to have her play a very comedic role. And Mark Pellegrino plays a drug dealer / investor. He gets his money from drug deals and other nefarious means and so forth. But he is financing the studio, so everyone turns a blind eye towards him.
I think what's going to be more fun about this series is that we're going to get to see you in front of the cameras this time around as well.
Well, it's funny because I had to play I mean, because I've lived through a lot of the experiences, it was something where I really wanted to try a different stab at doing something and playing a type of character that was more of this type of role and doing something really off the wall and stuff like that. So I felt it was time to do something that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. So, what are you doing? Any more films? Hopefully, after the series, now that the series is out, or you have any more film ideas going on?
Well, I have multiple projects in various stages. Obviously, the strikes have definitely affected where they're currently at right now.
Yeah.
There's an independent Western that I'm attached to direct. There's also a YA project that I'd been working on before the strikes that has been making the rounds and so forth like that. Different things like that, but again, because of the strikes, everything's been delayed and all of that type of stuff. So, but we are hoping that when the strikes are over, we can just keep moving forward and get back to where we were at. I mean, we're still allowed to write projects. We're just not allowed to pitch them to the studios right now.
Right.
Like so I'm currently working on a number of different projects that I'm writing, or, I'm actually talking about writing a book. And I've had discussions about a comic book and podcasts and things that are not affected by the AMPTP, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's hearing that you're attached to direct a Western. I think it's gonna be really interesting, and a YA project, because it just proves you're just branching out more. You're just showing how much you're branching out more. No, well,
I definitely don't want to be stuck in one specific genre. I've always been a lover of all the genres as long as the stories have been good. Yeah. So that's what's most key for me is the importance of how they are. And I also have a drama that's that I'm supposed to do at some point next year as well. So
that's awesome. that's amazing. Yeah, I think you're gonna be a name to look out for if you're not already. I mean, after all this, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be a name to look out for sure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, everyone, check out Underdeveloped as it premieres on September 8th on Tubi. So it's totally free. So get your accounts going, especially if you want to keep your watch history. Make sure you create an account. It's totally free. And this sounds like a fun project. I'm definitely going to look out, check it out. And Brian, thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, you got everyone take care. You all have a good day.
You too.